love, turning all your tricks against you, cause you're one and only master. Hey, a guy ready to rip, on my high, ready to rip, with that armor ready to rip, hey, ready to rip, ready to rip, hey, ready to rip, ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best, flexing Giannis S on my chest, facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip, I'm correct, the fish in the water, hit my marks, hooking and set, and being honest, wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness, ready to rip, hey. And I don't care if you don't know my name now, cause you'll hear when my old lady goes to scream out. Sunset, sunrise, 45 to shine down. Only shine is the truth to the few in power. That's why I roll with God. Middle finger, y'all. Making trust in your clicks with your demigod. Worship to the money, your material. You'll get ripped in half, Sodom, Cash, Sugar, Moria. And if a wolf ever should come across on your path, aiming straight for your goods, make a trade to his cash, bait with the woods, replace for your trash. Nah, you can have it, sucker. Here, God, ready to rip, on my high, ready to rip, with that armor, ready to rip, hey, ready to rip, ready to rip, hey, ready to rip, ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best, flexing Giannis S on my chest, facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip, coming correct, the fish in the water, hit my marks, hooking and set, and being honest, wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness, ready to rip, right? My hardest to stay with the best, flexing Giannis S on my chest, facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip, coming correct, the fish in the water, hit my marks, hooking and set, and being honest, wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness, ready to rip, right? Let's rip. Ready, rip. Praying to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. Coming correct. The fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. And being honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Hey, I jump on that track. Ready to roll. Ready to rip. Ready to reach. Place my bets. Hey, you never know when playing on hopes what you could achieve. Making the goal. Peace with the soul. Don't matter the bottom with what you believe. Cause if I'm taking it all in the calling, it's harder with nothing that's harder than free. Not giving up though. Don't trip. Gotta go. Take a slip. Make a pass in the low. Put it down the gas for a show. Slide a pass in the grass for the OPO. Got first, never last for the oh no. To the pass of the glass to the FOO. Cause I'm gonna pass all you cowards with ease. And when them speeding demons come, we don't feast with the beast and the evil hunting lust. Burn your cheeks when I speak with my real passion, love. Turning all your tricks against you, cause you're one and only master. Hey, a God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. Coming correct. The fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. And being honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Hey. And I don't care if you don't know my name now, cause you'll hear when my old lady goes to scream out. Sunset, sunrise, 45 to shine down. Only shine is the truth to the few in power. That's why I roll with God. Middle finger, y'all. Making trust in your clicks with your demigod. Worship to the money, your material. You'll get ripped in half, Sodom, Cash, Sugar, Moria. And if a wolf ever should come across on your path, aiming straight for your goods, make a trade to his cash, bait with the woods, replace for your trash. Nah, you can have it, sucker. Here, God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. Coming correct. The fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. And being honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Right. My hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis S on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. Coming correct. The fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. And being honest. Wearing my Hans and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Right. Let's rip. Ready, rip. Praying to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. my bets, hey, you never know when playing on hopes what you could achieve. Making the goal, peace with the soul, don't matter the bottle with what you believe. Cause if I'm taking it all in, the calling is harder with nothing that's harder than free. Not giving up though, don't trip, gotta go. Take a slip, make a pass on the low. Put it down the gas for a show. Slide a pass on the grass for the OPO. Got first, never last for the oh no. To the pass, to the glass, to the FOO. Cause I'm gonna pass all you cowards with ease. And when them speeding demons come, we don't feast with the beast and the evil hunting lust. Burn your cheeks when I speak with my real passion, love. Turning all your tricks against you cause you're one and only master. Ready to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis is on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. I'm correct. The fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. And being honest. Wearing my hands and strapped in his harness. Ready to rip. Hey. And I don't care if you don't know my name now. Cause you'll hear when my old lady goes to scream out. Sunset, sunrise, 45 to shine down. Only shine is the truth to the few in power. That's why I roll with God. Middle finger, y'all. Making trust in your clicks with your demigod. Worship to the money, your material. You'll get ripped in half, Sodom cash to Gomorrah. And if a wolf ever should come across on your path, aiming straight for your goods, make a trade to his cash, bait with the woods, replace for your trash. Nah, you can have it, sucker. Ready to God, ready to rip. On my high, ready to rip. With that armor, ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ready to rip. Hey, ready to rip. Ooh, yeah. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Giannis is on my chest. Facing problems down the depths. Ready to rip. I'm correct. The fish in the water. Hit my marks. Hooking and set. And being honest. Wearing my hands and strapping his harness. Ready to rip. Trying my hardest to stay with the best. Flexing Oh my God, that's Connie, right? No. Oh, we're here. Welcome back. Oh no, we're in the Continental, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are here, and Sean, you are there, are you not?
I am here.
Fresh off of pushing trucks into the woods, or cars into the woods. We did hear outside of the Asians back there, Asians pushing Asians. We are here in Knoxville, Iowa. We have returned to the Continental tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Although I heard, Sean, that the pushing of cars hasn't went too great for everybody. I've heard.
No, it's first night jitters, I guess. I don't know.
So it went good for you. You got Larson, but then I guess your son Max had an issue on opening night or something.
Yeah, last weekend, he got behind Landon Crawley and wasn't square with him per se, and started pushing him, and Landon steered it hard to the right, and Max's bumper got into his right rear tire and punctured it.
So you're telling me the image that I saw going around, well, I had like 10 people send it to me because they know the whole backstory. But you're telling me the image going around of Landon Crawley getting run over by a push truck was your son that did that?
Yep.
What's his PayPal or Venmo? I'm supposed to pay him for that, ain't I? I mean, what's the situation? I mean, what? I mean, I know this is just great, bad, horrible news. Sorry, bad, horrible news that happened at the Knoxville Raceway. What? Go ahead.
It happens, though.
They say it does. What's the chat doing? Is the chat even there? Y'all ain't even there. Y'all ain't even there. You say it happens. It does happen.
It does happen.
Races rain out. It does happen. Races rain out. I mean, Houston has flooded before. You know, I mean, it does happen. It just so happens. Yeah. It just so happened.
Didn't you call something else here? Earlier this week? Something too.
I'm not sure. I did not get laid, so I didn't call that one correctly. I mean, what else? What else did I get right or wrong? What is it? Can you remember?
I can't quite remember. I thought something else happened, like a karma deal what the hell was that?
I mean, I call it God in action, but y'all can keep calling it karma.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember.
So we do, luckily, have dogs scratching. Oh, bad one. Dogs scratching the chair. They want in. They always feel left out. But we also did have a gift sent in. We did have a gift sent in here in the mail. Hold on, we got to mute the echo. I know the echo. We ain't been doing the two mics for a while. We got a gift sent through the mail, and it's like, the hell is this from? And it said Oklahoma. I'm like, oh shit, is this somebody at the Chili Bowl finally gonna sue me or something for disruption of peace? But it's not. It is rainbow nut butter. I don't know if y'all can see this. I know it's scary to say. Rainbow nut butter with the X9 chassis of Reese Moran on the cover of this thing, or on the wrapping. It has Kaiser wheels on it, Bob Hurley RV and all that. But it is checkered flag mix. So I was trying to figure out what this is. They also sent this badass spoon, or two of them. Two of these spoons here. Get the hell away from the chair. No, I'm just playing. And this one is like almost, look at the color on that. That's clean.
Is it metal or plastic?
It's metal. This is a metal spoon, holographic look. I mean, this is clean. It doesn't say made in China, so they avoided the tariffs. We know that the tariffs ain't what we got to really worry about, right, Sean? So those Asians pushing Asians.
They're worried about the tariffs.
Yeah, and then we got this. Oh, I was trying to figure out what this was, but it's actually like a skull spoon. A skull spoon, but it's like aliens because it's got the big skull on it. But this stuff, I guess, is like a nut butter of some kind. I did look up their website. Let me get this website up. It's nut butter. Like, you know, back to the girl I thought I was. Never mind. I can't talk like that on this show. Yeah, it's nutbutter.com, I guess, or something. No, this is their Facebook. Rainbow nut butter. And on here, they got like a process, I guess, of how they did it or something like that. Making our first nut butter. Hold on, let's see here. How they do it. It's a DIY on how they actually make this stuff. So they make it with different flavors. This is like, I guess that's like the Nutter Butter flavoring. That is not what I got. And they fill it all up. It's like custom made. I definitely think the insulin spike is going to go up here. Although I shouldn't be worried about that too much. We've never opened up this one. This one's definitely a little different than what you just saw on your screen. But they do have a website, rainbownutbutter.com. And this was completely random. I didn't see this coming. But I guess you can go and, I mean, she had some acne on her face, so I may turn her down. But you can go there and get some. It's got a different look to it. This one's got like all kinds of like stuff in it. Like Chex Mix is in here. It looks like some, I don't know what kind of pieces are in there. All kinds of stuff. But you're supposed to like take the spoon and then I guess do what that chick just did on the camera and stick their nut butter in your mouth. She looked way better doing it than me. So, I mean, I'm not trying to get a big old gob right now. It's a huge spoon. Although I guess it comes with every order, these custom spoons. Here, we got another spoon if y'all want to try it.
I want to try it.
No, I'm good.
I'm not good.
Go ahead.
Oh, damn, that's good. Oh, damn. Hey, you like the skull spoon anyway.
Yeah.
Connie's coming over here with her done-up nails. And it's like, I guess, nut butter.
Is it peanut butter?
It is, but it isn't peanut butter.
That's good.
Yeah, like custom.
That's good.
Hey, you want to try some more? You sure you don't want to try it? There won't be none left now that I gave it to Connie. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen, the nut butter. And that is, like I said, the custom checkered flag mix. I guess sponsored Reese Moran, which he did okay until Justin Peck had issues or whatever, and the 26 car continues to destroy Justin Peck's career. Anyways, nut butter. Check it out. What? Nuts in my mouth? What? What did the chat just say to that?
It's on fire.
What do you mean the chat's on fire? What did the chat say now? Custom nut butter in Chaz's mouth this minute. Caitlin Larson is making shirts now. Wow. Wow.
Chaz, you love nut spunk.
I love nut spunk. This is just, I can't even eat some damn nut butter and put it in my mouth without y'all making disgusting.
I like it.
Yeah, even the women like it. Although I feel like that's naturally in their genetics to like nut butter in their mouth. But that's just me being mean in saying that. Very misogynistic comment. Damn it, Chaz, how you fitting in the cart eating that? That's true. It's not happening. Chaz was DQ'd for nut butter on his tires. Wow. Always funny to see how many people shit talk you, but more times than not, you're always fairly close to being right. You called it saying you expect shots to do well at Eldora. Yeah, I mean, I was saying it was going to take about a month in this transition period with the motor. Of course, you're going to Eldora in that month. I was seeing the tracks coming up. Eldora, Lincoln, Williams Grove coming up. Even going up to Canada, Shots likes those style tracks. You ever looked at Osh Weekend and some of these facilities? That's kind of the type of facilities he runs well at. Nut butter, shit, the jokes write themselves. Wow, y'all people. Nut butter, the smartest parts ran down crap car's leg. Wow. Come on now, what the hell? Anyway.
I think you dropped it. Whatever that colorful thing is.
What the
Yeah,
cats and the dogs are trying to eat it?
She sensed it out.
Here, put some nut butter in your mouth then. No.
Is it chocolate?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It was a multitude of flavorings bursting in my mouth.
Wow.
All at once. And it was like it was coming from both sides. If you know what I'm saying. Nut sputter. That's about what it tasted like, was some nut sputter. Because you bit into it and it sputtered stuff into your mouth. Chaz feeding the animals nut butter is illegal. I didn't give it to him. I put it on the table, you piece of shit. Anyways, let's get into the damn show since you people are so sensitive tonight. RainbowNutButter.com. Anyways, you had the race tonight. I don't really want to show the World of Outlaws footage, although apparently there is going to be free World of Outlaws. They're learning from the Chaz and my requests, as well as what Flo is doing over at Dirt Vision. We obviously had the suggestion, we could even bring this back to TMS with the High Limit series last night. We had the suggestion on the show a few weeks ago, or hell, a month ago. I think it was in the off season actually. Where he's like, hey, spread your stuff out, do hot laps, then do qualifying, then do like a break and do some track prep and have the drivers come over and meet the fans and then go into heat racing. Is that not what happened? Is that not what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened.
And then I am almost 1,000% sure I said, before I think I said before the dash, I think I suggested the main as well, pull all the cars up to the front straightaway and line them up and then get the drivers out. They should have introduced them one by one as they went to their cars, but still add some pageantry to the event. Did we not say that all the time?
Yep.
And then they did it. And now the World of Outlaws, we were just bitching about Free Vision and the World of Outlaws and Dirt Vision kind of showing practice and qualifying. And I was saying, if you really want to increase subscribers, you should do the night all the way up into after the dash. You should make all that free and then cut the damn stream right after the dash is over before the B and the A main events. And then the people who watched it for free have to go and buy your subscription to keep up with the show they invested their entire night into. But Flo did the Free Vision. Obviously, I didn't think Dirt Vision could do anything close because they're not in the same capital department. But apparently, May 9th, the World of Outlaws Williams Grove Speedway return is going to be free. And it was, what was it? WatchWorldOfOutlaws.com is where you could find more information on this situation, they said on the show. But there it is. There's the proof. Free worldwide broadcast of the Williams Grove night with the World of Outlaws. It is going to be on YouTube. It is going to be on Dirt Vision and their media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Racer TV. So keep an eye out. There is some alliances that you can see when they do some of this stuff. So Racer TV. Anybody ever heard of that? I haven't. Apparently, it's a home for motocross, off-road, and ATV racing. It's going to be hosting this free night of Dirt Vision World of Outlaw event with or at Williams Grove Speedway. So it'll be free on there. Gonna bet they kind of got that connection at Bike Week just based on the image we're seeing there. But regardless, they're calling it the NOS Energy Drink Watch Party. And on May 9th, it's going to be free to watch the Williams Grove little battle there with the World of Outlaws. What are they calling that? The Morgan Cup or something like that? I'm not sure. But regardless, PA Posse versus the Outlaws for free. Going to be interesting to see how that goes. Been paying some close attention to the live streaming audiences. The main event was pretty good. Obviously, we had some comers and goers. Sheldon Hodenschild started on the front row pole. I believe he fell back to 10th. Probably one of the, two shockers of the night was how good Ashton Torgerson was, how good Zach Hampton was, and then a late charge by both Donnie Schatz and Cole Macedo. In this main event. It was pretty dusty, but I've always said I've never seen a bad race in the dust. It might have been hard to see the race, but I've still never seen a bad one. When it's dusty, usually it's wide, usually there's multiple grooves, usually it's hard to get grip, which for some reason means a wing sprint car race is just better when it's hard for them to get grip. Now when the track goes rubbered up, rubber's down, usually the dust goes away. And that's when you see races become very boring. I heard the Circle City Raceway event with the Lucas Oil Series was pretty one-laner. Somebody in the comments already said that. But Schatz came on late, almost track gravel down. I thought he was going to have a shot at him. He rolled the middle, had a good groove going. But I'll tell you what, I don't know how it is, but David Gravel, for some reason, and I don't know what it is, I always seem to speculate. I could speculate about watches, although, once again, unlike the wing thing with Danny Dietrich, when I go to bitching about somebody wearing a watch or cheating or something, I got, video proof of Kyle Larson getting out of the car with a fucking watch on in Victory Lane. It's no lies. I don't know how it is, but I saw it tonight. Anytime somebody was running down gravel, and they had a different line than him, all of a sudden the 2-car went the next corner. He knew exactly where they were behind them without even seeing him. Right. Did you see that, Sean?
Yeah.
And the same thing happened when Schatz closed in. Gravel was running the top. Schatz closed in, running the middle, and then all of a sudden Gravel goes the middle before he shows a nose. 2-3 car lengths behind. Right. How are they doing that, Sean?
Probably that watch.
I don't think he's got a watch. There's multiple ways to pull this off. I think there's multiple ways to pull this off. And I honestly think, y'all want rules. And back to the wing thing before we continue. I have to admit something and say something that may be offensive to some. But this is just the fucking facts. This is just the fucking fact. This is the Kelsey Black facts. No, I'm just playing. But after the whole wing thing with Dietrich, some people I knew were supporting the Dietrich situation, and I went to them and asked them why. Unfortunately for a lot of people, and it could be true, it could be not true. Unfortunately, Sean, a lot of people do think that something's up with the whole entire shark racing organization. Very reputable people.
Like what's going on?
Maybe, I guess Bobby Allen back in the day was doing some tricky stuff to keep his operation going. Everybody was doing tricky stuff back then. I don't know, but there's just some people that really doubt the authenticity of a 100% legal race car on both sides, not just Jacob, the whole camp.
All do it. You have to.
Well, and that's what I was saying. I was like, okay, fine. And just like with this situation, Just like with this situation, just like the fucking wings. That was my only deal with Dietrich. Why go after the kid in the scenario over a fucking wing and we can all go kind of see it all looks the same? Oh, everybody's got this dish and this dip and this all that and the other. We went through all the wings. Well, if it's really about illegal wings, let's go after illegal wings. Why go after this? And then I'm like, yeah, it's kind of obvious. Yeah, it's got to be obvious. And it's like, well, why is X, Y, Z aligning with Dietrich on this? And it's like, basically, from what I was comprehending, even though Dietrich went after him for X subject, there's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, X. It's the whole damn alphabet around this group, and people who think that way were supporting Dietrich and calling this group out, period. And that's why he was garnishing support from other people that just didn't make sense for such a wide subject. So, once again, still think it's bullshit how he went after it, but there's something to it. Now, once again, even when I talk to these reputable people in the sport and having this wide opinion of them, once again, who the fuck ain't doing it, Sean? The teching is the problem with the sport is teching. Period. I know of a driver right now who's wanting to retire because of the teching scenario. I know there's two for sure. One is like ready to go because how bad the teching of this industry is. They think it's. I'm not saying who. I'm not ruining careers and they got partnerships and sponsors and stuff. I'm just saying this is the severity of this, the cheating, the technical scenario in the sport. There's a lot of people upset about it, and there's a few people that just want out because of it. They believe the people who are, I think, going for fairness want a third-party company to be doing these tech procedures. They don't want it to be the World of Outlaws. They don't want it to be some old geezer who used to work on cars or went to a school and graduated from UNOH. They want a third-party group to come into the World of Outlaws, to come into all of y'all, not just the sprint cars. The sprint cars, the late models, the big block modifieds, the IMCA, almost like a organization on its own, like a OSHA. Like you have this agreement between you and the employer on fairness. If the employer or you start fucking around, there's like this OSHA thing that comes in and says, nope, fuck you, that's illegal, you're fucked. A union. Well, not just a union, but a third party that's not invested on any fucking side, that don't give a fuck and is only there to instill fairness. Now, once again, is Shark Racing pulling some shit off? They fucking better be. Is everybody pulling some shit off? They fucking better be. But the lack of teching and properly instituting rules is the ultimate issue for all of it happening, period. So whether David Gravel's got a two-way earpiece or what the fuck ever, I don't know. Or Shark Racing's got titanium rods and I don't know. Whatever, name it, XYZ. Or traction control, or fucking name the list that we always talk about in this fucking sport. Name the list. Dope tires. Fucking go down.
Or throw the rule book away.
Either throw the rule book away, or something's got to be different. I do think that this third party idea is very, very smart and intellectual. A third party that runs the teching process of the sport, and they don't give a fuck who you are. And there's actually shit that's done, and that's their job. They ain't got no second-tier jobs and all this shit. They're doing jobs. They're at the track that night, engines, tires, all this shit. Because why are we sending it to Blue Ridge? And Blue Ridge is the superior god of all tire doping. Why? You're telling me you can't figure that shit out right at the track? The person who's ready to quit believes you can. If you have it there, if there's a group that's their job to instill fairness, it don't sound too far-fetched, but it could cost some money. Could cost money, oh God.
And you know, racing for, you know, big money, I mean, you got to make it fair as possible. And yeah, I think a third party would benefit all that.
Well, and at least it would benefit the transparency of the sport. You know, because now it ain't the Outlaws have a favorite team and they're worried about losing them or this, that, and the other. And other people could sit here and say, actually, the person who referenced this, they sit there and they would say, oh, well, you know, the Outlaws, they ain't going to do shit because they're worried about losing a team to High Limit or something. Well, 5-6 years ago, there wasn't no High Limit. And the same bullshit was talked about and lied about and all this stuff, right? And then the only tech guy to come out and try to say anything different than it's all good was Kevin Nouse, and he's fucking where? Where is he at now? Where is he? What? Who? So this is the reality of the current system in place. The current system doesn't work. Period, right? I guess everybody's agreeing on that. The current system does not work. And now you're getting me worked up to the point my fucking cheeks are so red they're matching my hoodie. You fucks. Oh, God. We're going to the comments. I didn't even plan on going to the comments, but we're going to the comments right now on the back end of this. We're going to the comments on the back end of this. I heard Jack Hewitt drives all of Young Money's race cars via remote control from home. Has been there for years. Oh, God. Never mind. Back to the web. Random checks would be nice. Full-time costs too much. And aren't we all tired of more regulations? What's the next stage? No, we're not tired of more regulations. I think the sport is tired of having rules and regulations that are not followed. The current ones are not even instilled and implemented. Anyway, that's the problem. Anyway, I don't know how gravel changes lanes when guys are 3 car lengths behind. Like he all of a sudden knows where they're running. I don't know about the shark racing deal. I don't know about the wings. I don't know about the MXD boxes. I don't know about all that. But there's somebody who does. There's somebody who's supposed to go in there and figure the shit out. It ain't supposed to be my fat ass yelling on YouTube about it. It's supposed to be somebody, and if y'all can't find a somebody within an organization, well, maybe there needs to be a new organization that instills fairness onto the sport overall. Sounds fair to me. Anyways, David Gravel wins fucking race. Schatz goes second. Macedo third. Hampton fourth. Buddy Kofoid rebounds from engine issues. Oh, my God. Thanks a lot, Toyota, to get fifth. Although I don't think he suffered any hindrance from those engine issues. Zach Hampton, very impressive. Always fast. I've always been a fan of Zach Hampton, believe it or not. Once again, when I was critical of Zach Hampton, it was because I was high on his ass, and he just flipped this car, flipped that car, went to my buddy over there in PA, destroyed his shit, and it's like, okay, I'm out. I got to be out. But he can be fast, and maybe this year we'll patient him down, and he'll become something good here soon. He definitely has a very good center of gravity for the weight and height that he is. Speaking of weight and height, Cole Macedo was the show tonight, ripping the lip like nobody else, surprisingly. But that's that West Coast aggressiveness, I think, and that's why people were high on Cole Macedo. That West Coast aggressiveness, you put a fucking cushion on these racetracks, and these West Coast guys can really rip them. Cole Macedo showed you that tonight. Speaking of West Coast guys, or Shark Racing, before we get to West Coast guys, unfortunately, Logan Schuchart, for Cole Macedo's beneficiary or non-beneficiary, went from 14th to 4th, as Cole Macedo, I believe he went from 12th to 3rd. So Logan Schuchart was the hard charger, always runs well at Eldora, whether y'all think it's legal or not. As y'all are all legal, huh? Now, anyway, continue. The list, it runs down right here. Yeah, Cole Macedo came from 12th. Let's see here. Cole Macedo came from 12th. I don't have my Dethridge glasses on. These are really low, but Dethridge glasses get some. I would be reading it like that. How does the Dethridge glasses look with this red-black prime look? This could be good. Hey. All right. Hey, man. All right. We can do that. Now we can read the little lettering without having to zoom it in. 10th to 2nd for Donnie Schatz. Good run in 2nd for Donnie. Once again, Gravel just knows how to change lines when he needs to. Cole from 12th to 3rd. Logan 14th to 4th. Good run there. Unfortunately, 19th. Oh, look at Parker Price Miller. Carson Macedo 17th to 8th. Parker Price Miller 19th to ninth. So there was comers and goers, but once again, I think that attests to the dusty track that was kind of wide, and that produces good racing. Multiple grooves. You could really the line right around the bottom on the wall was very fast all night long. Just good from all angles. The biggest disappointment of the night might have been Ashton Torgerson, though. This is a picture of his midget that he's used to running. And I'll say this right now. I know I've been very critical on the midget guys, you know, in the midget scene. But that's mainly because I don't think they race anybody good on a consistent basis in the national scenes of midget racing. We get to the Chili Bowl, and your regular national midget drivers, for the most part, disappear when the sprint car drivers come in there. The good drivers of the full entire dirt track racing industry show up in the building. Your regular midget guys just go away most of the time, especially the kids. But track like tonight, Ashton Torgerson did extremely well. Drove by some people for the heat race win. Was basically driving by David Gravel for the dash win. It didn't look like anybody was going to get him off the bottom. I mean, there was a legitimate chance tonight that Ashton Torgerson was going to win the damn race. I mean, no, legitimate chance. And I do think something that midgets do teach, especially if you go to all the racing events and the track goes slick, I think it does teach some pretty good footwork. And I think footwork's very important in wing sprint car racing, especially on these big race tracks. So I was very impressed with Ashton Torgerson kind of displaying some of those midget talents that you do learn in a good car. He got to show it off a little bit. Of course, he's got the West Coast racing experience. It does benefit a lot to not only race midgets on a full-time basis, but also when you're not out there, you're over there on the West Coast with NARC and SCCT and the 410 and 360 divisions on the West Coast. That's definitely giving you some good sprint car experience. You know, that seems to be almost the combination for really good success on a national level. That was pretty much the same kind of prescription for a Rico Abreu, prescription for a Kyle Larson, prescription for a Buddy Kofoid. That's basically kind of the same path of these guys. West Coast sprint car racing mixed in with some national midget racing stuff. And that projected these guys, and it looks like Ashton Torgerson, into being a pretty damn good national sprint car racer. So it was very impressive. Now, this is where we all kind of take a deep breath, because no matter how impressive it is, and we got this, you know, people are scared to enforce rules because they're worried about losing a driver to high limit or a high limit driver to World of Outlaws, and this shit's happening now, whatever it is. The other issue that we got here is the payout. Let me show y'all something. It was all supposed to be about increasing the payouts, right, Sean? We're supposed to be moving on up, correct?
Right.
This is a picture of tonight's winner with the World of Outlaw Late Model Series. This guy's name's Tyler Erb. He took down one of the big bad beasts of Bobby Pierce. Tim McCready ran well also. A couple guys was up in there battling up front in the World of Outlaw Late Model Series. But he had a good night. Pole award, standing there with Tim McCready. Tim McCready, we got to give a big shout out to him. Finished fourth tonight, moved up to sixth in points. One of his best runs of the year. There's your podium. Nick Hoffman went second. Bobby Pierce third. This was for the record, a preliminary night at one of the best racetracks that you're ever going to see, sprint car fans. Of course, after the Knoxville Nationals this year, the debut of the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series is going to be happening at this track, the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, which is located in Fountain City, Wisconsin, which is the beginning of the Mississippi River, which is why they call it Mississippi Thunder Speedway. People hear Mississippi Thunder, they see modifieds and late models racing there all the time. That's only because it's the beginning of the Mississippi River up there in Wisconsin. Right on the border, almost like 10, 15 minutes from the Iowa border, right up there in that little corridor. Now, are y'all looking at the payout for a preliminary night? And this was supposed to be a 3-day event. They rained out last night. Last night's race was supposed to be $25,000 to win. And this ain't an event where both sides come together and you're getting all the names. The Lucas Oil was scheduled to race somewhere else. They ain't getting none of those guys. Ricky Thornton Jr. ain't going to be at this event. Jonathan Davenport ain't going to be here. Overton ain't going to be here. All the names over there. Devin Moran, they're scheduled somewhere else. Now, they may come over here because I believe Florence did rain out for Lucas Oil tomorrow, so you may have some guys come up there tomorrow. But this is supposed to be 2 nights of $25,000 fucking dollars to win. And the third fucking day, ladies and gentlemen, it's scheduled to be tomorrow, $75,000 fucking dollars to win. 75, Sean.
That's a lot of money.
What are we doing? It's supposed to be about what was it, 12 grand to win Eldora tonight? Something like that. Yeah. Something like that, 12. And y'all are out there doing whatever Gravel's got going on and Shark and all this shit. What, dishing wings and stuff, I guess. I don't believe it, but 75,000. So yeah, there may be some people haul from the train race down there at Circle City, and since Florence rained out, they may run up here and try to win this $75,000 at this track in the middle of nowhere. By the way, they had modifieds with them. I think they had 80 fucking modifieds tonight. Real ones, USMTS modifieds, not the center seating ones. But they had 80 of those. You know why? Because at the end of the month here in May, there's going to be a $100,000 to win modified race at this fucking track. At this Mississippi Thunder Speedway, $100,000. Do we need to show y'all this shit? I ain't fucking kidding. This is the track right here. They put up a brand new fence around the top of the speedway. This is a little bit of an outdated overhead shot, but they put a brand new fence up so that the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series can stop crying and come to the racetrack. But that's it. They're racing for $25,000 on preliminary action. I think it was $2,000 to start. I think tomorrow's $3,000 to start. $75 to win.
That's good money.
I'm trying to find that modified deal. They're all promoting this, obviously, $75,000 to win event, but Flow Racing got the rights to it. They made a post here recently to this $100,000 to win modified show. And this is kind of the issue. I mean, you want a battle and you put this battle on to raise the stakes of the sport, but $25,000 on preliminary nights, $75K on the final. I can't find it. I thought it was World Modified Championships. MTS. Let's see. That should bring it up. Yeah, $125,000 to win. Right there. There's a little preview of it. $100,000, $25 to win this event coming up. There it is. Modified World Championship. Live on Flow. Mississippi Thunder Speedway. So us in the sprint car world, we're sitting back, splitting all this shit up, doing all we're doing to increase the revenue, fucking conjuring up franchisees and all this shit, while you got modified people running for $100,000 on a whim on a fucking May weekend at the end of May here in Wisconsin. You got late models racing for 25. You got Tyler Erb and his ass, literally beer chugging a whole damn can of beer on top of his late model for $25,000 on a prelim night. And they're just all going to show up tomorrow and drive on up for 75 fucking K tomorrow. 75K tomorrow to win this shit. What's the point? Was it to increase the money of the sport, or was it just to look cool and take it over? Which one is it, Sean?
To increase the payout. I mean, hell, we're talking beginning of the season, and they're paying that kind of money.
Yeah.
You normally see this shit, towards the end. But hell.
Yeah, this is kind of becoming standard for the late model industry, and this is how they work together well. This is how they get together well. This is how they're able to have 100 fucking cars at any given point, and super late model teams, you know, that are relevant and star power and all this stuff, because they're racing for enough money to where the stars, if you're good enough, you can fucking hit the road and run this. If this was the payout on the World Outlaw Sprint Car Series or High Limit, you think any of these fuckers in PA would be sitting there saying, well, I can make just as much money sitting at home? No, you couldn't. You can't make this. You can't make this much money sitting at home. But the World Outlaw Sprint Cars and High Limit, they're in this payout. Great. It feels like to me, Sean, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out. It feels like the sprint car industry has y'all in this little bubble of what y'all will accept to be paid. And all they got to, if somebody comes out and just raises the stakes, it fucks it all up for everybody, because everybody's getting away right now in the sprint car industry by paying you only this much. Right. Why are we going to do this? Yeah. I mean, you already have Real American Beer, by the way, guys, sponsoring the World of Outlaw Late Model Series. Do you know that their main investor in the Real American Beer Company is one of the main investors in Flow Racing? That's a Flow Racing company sponsoring the World of Outlaw Late Models. Crazy. Is this what's going on?
I'd like to know.
What's going on?
I'd like to know.
This is what I'm saying. They got y'all in this box. They're acting like it's almost like politics, Sean. Left and the right. I guarantee you fucking Kamala and Trump were getting drunk and stoned laughing at y'all's ass last October. I bet you they were best fucking friends. Best friends. Look at them go. Ha ha. Hey, next week you go out there and stumble on stage like Joe did. I'll fucking get them going, and I'll yell and tell you you're a fucking idiot. This is those Illuminati meetings. Why is a Flow company sponsoring the late model?
There must be something in the works.
Why is the sprint car industry that says we want to pay more keeping you here? They got this $180 million capital and all this shit. Just saying. Somebody call me tomorrow and tell me I'm a fucking idiot, Chaz. Fuck you. Reaction chat before we open up the lines. We got one more thing to talk about. We got a super chat from Hammer Down. Thank you. I think the video is probably demonetized since we played Kid Rock to open up the show. But anyway. Yeah, they have some big money shows, but the real modifieds are the fucking slow mud turtles that can barely pass and sound like fucking fat people farting, the Northeast modifieds. That's how. You ever seen them race, Sean? Yeah. Is that how they sound? Is that how they sound, Sean?
Well, I mean, you don't want to really twist it.
That's how they sound. That's how they sound. The dogs are freaking the fuck out over y'all's big block modifieds. They're barking now. Thanks a lot. At least I hear. I don't mind the 358s. They're all fucking, screaming. But that fucking, I don't even mind the USMTS, USRA modifieds that are raced for 100,000, because those guys actually have fucking, some scream to them. I think they're like 800 horsepower. But those center sections, man, they come off the corner. Fuck, why you need traction control for something that sounds like that shit? I'm just saying. Oh, God. What do you think, Sean? Is that how they sound?
Yeah. They can't twist the RPM, though.
Well, they ain't as bad as Ryan Gustin flipping Russ Hall's sprint car, though, a couple weeks ago. Jeez.
Yeah.
I could have done better, Russ. The mods you're talking about are glorified street stocks with a Chevelle front clip from a junkyard. Nope. Well, at least they're not modifieds that are wannabe sprint cars that are just scared to go that fast. I'm just saying. I don't mind the 358s. Anyways, one last topic to talk about before we get too far in the show. We do have a Tyler Walker update. This is a random video. I could not believe that I saw it. This is from Placerville. They had a non-wing event today. I guess it's not broadcasted on Flow. It's not broadcasted on Dirt Vision or anything I could see. But I did see Dominic Selzy was going to run this event. Ryan Bernal is there, Placerville once again. And Tyler Walker is working with this inland rigging team as it looks like some kind of crew member or some kind of person in the sport. It looks like he's got like a crew shirt on. In some capacity, he's got like a protective. What is that he's got on there? Is that kind of like a? That?
I think it's like an upper body cast, like a plastic cast. I don't know what.
I was thinking it was a bulletproof vest. You know, he was down there in some pretty sketchy areas, Sean.
Well, when I broke my back, I had something similar to that. So it makes you wonder what happened.
Well, it's still good. He definitely looks like in a very much better state than the last few times we've seen Tyler Walker, wouldn't you say? I mean.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, this is on Cali Dirt Videos. Of course, he's doing some content over there at Placerville tonight. But there is Tyler Walker looking good, talking normal-ish, I guess, to Ryan Bernal. Looks fired up about being around the sprint car, talking about it, telling Ryan Bernal this, that, and the other. Looks like he's kind of describing some things he sees happening out on the racetrack. So, can we call this a good update, John, for Tyler Walker people?
I would. I mean, the last thing I seen from him wasn't good.
Yeah, because we did our deal before. Everybody seemed to reach out, and then the next thing you knew, he was trying to sell a skateboard or something. That wasn't good. You know, it didn't look good. But this definitely looks like a really good update for those concerned with Tyler Walker. We'll see if Cali Dirt Videos, go follow him on Facebook. I think he has a YouTube as well. Maybe potentially he gets a little interview or a talk there with Tyler Walker and some more updates on the situation. The situation should be very entertaining. Hold on just a second. We're going to the chat. And then, yes, we are opening up the... Is this going to be bad, Sean, if we open up the lines? Are we...
No, open it up. Open it up.
Oh, no. Open them up, he says. Open them up. Open them up and split them like a billy goat. That's what they say. Now, we do have this issue where people have been calling and saying some very bad things. So the desktop audio is down. We are going to try to vet these people before we get to the very end. This looks like a PA number. Hello, are you there?
Yo, Chaz, what's up, bro?
What's going on?
Yo, Chaz, do you think that, like, Tyler Walker spent enough time away from the sport where he's become, like, irrelevant to the sprint car world?
You would have thought that, but when those videos surfaced, you know, originally, it seemed like the whole entire sprint car world reacted. So,
Like, I mean, some people would be happy that that's happening, but that would be like the news coming that Chad Layton's going to hop back in a 410. Like, yeah, it would be interesting, but is it really relevant anymore?
that is funny you say that. I think I saw Brian Lepo talking about hopping into one.
Yeah, because, like, think about it. That'd be like Layton getting back to the racing world. Everyone would be like, Chad Layton? I haven't heard his name in like 10 years.
Well, I do think the bigger aspect here is how Tyler Walker exited the sport. It wasn't necessarily it wasn't a Chad Layton way. It wasn't a Brian Lepo way. It wasn't a Mark Kinzer way. It was a fucking going down in a blaze of glory, doing whatever through 5 states. The whole story, you know. I mean, it wasn't like he just all of a sudden stopped racing. I mean, he had his situation that was highly publicized, you know.
If you think about it, I don't really think it wasn't necessarily like, yeah, Walker was good, but it was more like, I don't even think it was necessarily his racing career that was appealing. It was like more his image as a person. Like when you see this dude that's like walking around the pits with no shirt on, walking a pit bull on a chain, everyone's like, oh man, this dude's a badass. He's got a 6-pack and a pit bull. Like people just like, that's something that like shocked the world. Like no one seen some dude like built like, you know, like muscles and six pack. Just
Well, or we
casually
haven't
walking
seen
a
we
pit
hadn't
bull.
seen somebody so, as most people would say, arrogant to do all that either. Like maybe there's people with the six pack, but they ain't walking around the pits with their shirt off, walking a pit bull on a chain,
I mean, like, what do you think of the fucking like the Bobby Allen / Jacob Allen Danny Dietrich beef?
I mean, we've already talked about it several times, but I think it's bullshit that Danny went after them for illegal wings when apparently a lot of people are doing it. It looked like Danny was kind of clout chasing because that story was so big with Ashton Torgerson winning and all these things, and then there was the it was apparent to anybody with the set of eyes, ears, and brain cells that the wing from Port Royal was a damaged wing. We documented it here on the show. We showed angles from Port Royal where you're looking straight at the wing and where that belly bends and where that, speed bump looking belly section is. You can literally see the sideboard bends in the same kind of direction as if it was just beaten straight out. And it makes sense that they just put a damaged wing on the car to get the kids some laps. And hopefully if they do get in a wreck, they don't lose a brand new or a good wing in the process because they didn't know what the fuck they were going to get. They just brought the kid in. So
that's, I mean, like it was, to me, it was like not even needed to be like beef. It was a small race. It wasn't a large payout. It wasn't like this is like the Eldora million that they cheated on.
Well, and they didn't even use the wing that he was accusing them of. At BAPS. The BAPS wing was completely different. And that's what I mean. Like, it looked like maybe he had an issue with illegal wings overall. And then he clout chased the scenario of what happened with Ashton winning and being this big shocking news line. He clout chased that, kind of stole it in a way to make his point larger, even though his point was like falling all over its face. Now,
what do you think of Cooter getting back on the dirt bike?
I don't know what. Oh God, I know what you mean now. It took a second. I was like, I don't know what that. Oh God. I highly suggest against it. It didn't work out the last time. Regardless,
but he is doing well. Like for someone that had the spine injury that he had, like to get back on the bike and really be like dominant. I think he won a race down at Tomahawk, and so I mean he is like he's coming back with a dominant force. I just like hopefully it works out for him.
I mean, if it pays well enough, I guess that would work. But the weird part with the Danny Dietrich situation and Shark, like I was saying earlier in the show, is there was a lot of people supporting Danny, and I didn't get it. And come to find out, there is a lot of people, it seems like, in the pitting areas of the industry that think that Shark Racing has been up to stuff besides the wing. And that's why it was such a why Dietrich was getting support on the low end. It wasn't necessarily just about the wing. It was about both the 1S and 1A. And there's a lot of people that think there's some shady shit going on there. Like when they came out with that shirt, parody or joking shirt that said Bobby Allen, the man, the myth, the legal legend. Some people sent that to me and said that's cringe because they fully believe that team and the 1S has done some shit. I don't know what to say. Like I said earlier, I think the problem with the sport is teching. I think there's a real two guys who are ready to hang up over this shit. One guy who's huge and he's ready to quit over teching. And his solution was there needs to be a third party outside of the World of Outlaws, outside of PA, outside of all this shit that comes in and handles the tech process, that has no skin in the game, can't be told you're fired by a track, can't be told this or that, can't have favorites because they want to keep a team on the series, that there needs to be a third party organization come in and run the teching process for all prominent dirt track motorsports racing events in the country. And I mean, I know that would take a decent amount of effort and probably a decent amount of some kind of money and organization, But this just goes right underneath the same fucking category of safety. You know, it's like we need a real organization to come in here and set real mandates and make real shit happen. Why are we, working on the series or local racetrack owners to dictate fairness and safety in the sport? Because obviously that's not been a successful process. That we ain't got successful results in those two categories. And once again, is the 1A and 1S cheating in the way they think that they're cheating? Whether it's wings or this thing or that or the other MSD, think of all the cheating categories there are. If they are, you probably are fucking cheating too in this category. Danny's probably cheating over here and getting away with it. And Gravel's fucking moving all over the track while, a car's behind him and somehow he knows where the fast line is before the guy even shows him. I mean, there's all kinds of fucking cheating going on out here right now. And a lot of people are getting away with it. So, I think his point of teching being an issue is an issue. I'm not so sure that there's a current solution outside of the potential idea of a third-party organization coming in and running the tech industry of this sport.
I'm curious to see this year. I'm curious because so far I think they both have one win, but Robbie Kendall fucking I think has one Port Royal win, and I think Ryan Smith. I mean Smith, he's been doing not bad either. He's been having some good qualifies.
The 69K looks good with him, but Macri or Dietz should have won that race. Dietz should have won that race.
Yeah, I just I'm to the point Macri's at least getting the top 5 finish, if not better, every time he races. It's like, why isn't Macri racing with a higher series like the Outlaws, the High Limit? Like Macri has no place in the posse. He should be out of the road.
It goes right back to what we were just talking about with the payouts. I mean, the late models are racing for $25,000 on preliminary nights and $75,000 on the main. If that was the case with the World of Outlaws or High Limit, your PA guys couldn't sit there on their porch and say, well, I can make just as much money sitting here. It's because the national series are not paying adequate money to travel. That's period the issue.
Like Macri is someone in Pennsylvania, yes, but you put him up against the Outlaws or the High Limit, he doesn't have that same kind of drive and power to take them down.
He's just up against different competition, I think. He's just up against different competition. And we got to understand, Anthony Macri ain't necessarily a Gio Scelzi. This isn't somebody who jumped in every car he got into and did well. This is somebody who went to Port Royal and wrecked how many race cars for a couple years to figure out where the limit was? So Anthony Macri is somewhat, I would say, a trained driver. Has he trained himself into being very good? Yeah, but this is also a driver who didn't just get out there and have the natural ability. He wrecked race cars over and over and found the limit by wrecking, not finding the limit by naturally having the talent to push it. He just pushed it over and over and over and over, making, errors and has learned how to be fast. So Macri.
There's
go ahead.
There's a lot of guys that have disappeared, and I'm really questioning as to are they done or not done? Let's say Tyler Bear. Tyler Bear, I haven't seen or heard anything about him racing the Nemesis car, so I'm curious as to what's happening there. And then who else? There's Tyler Bear. I think Ash is done. Ash wrecked too many cars when he was in the 98. He was wrecking the 98 one summer. He wrecked him 4 or 5 times at Port.
Yeah, that one at the Tuscarora 50 that one year, I thought he was dead.
But I was yeah. So I don't think Ash is pretty much done hanging up the boots. But and then what's going to happen is some of these guys are getting older. You have Donnie Schatz. I mean, Schatz isn't going to continue to race the CarQuest car for much longer.
Who knows?
I mean, maybe, but I see that coming to a close. I mean, Schatz's time, I think, is on. He's on borrowed time now. He's doing good. He's still the same Donnie Schatz, but how much longer can his racing career hold up?
Well, he ran good tonight. We'll see. He's
great, but the younger guys are going to be the guys that are going to be it's like Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was great in NASCAR, but he can only do so much, and he's getting older, and he sometimes races IndyCar, but he can't win forever.
I think NASCAR's a little different. You have a lot of guys in NASCAR that are performing based on their equipment. For instance, I think if you put Kyle Busch in a premium ride right now, he'd be just as fast as he always was. But I think there's tricks out there, and people have tricks, and I think that those tricks aren't being properly teched, aren't being properly found out. And there is something to be said about the age, but I think there's something to be said about the vehicles as well.
There is like there's greatness in some of them guys. Like I see Christopher Bell has the ability to race a NASCAR car and win, and he also has the ability to race a sprint car and do well in it. But like some of them guys can run a sprint car.
So if you put Christopher Bell into the RCR ride, I don't think he can win a race. He's not. Those race cars determine how good you are. Look at Kyle Larson in the Ganassi car. They thought he wasn't good enough to be in NASCAR because he only won 6 races in 6 years. He got into a Hendrick ride and instantly became the champion. That's the race car over there making the difference, you know. So Chris Bell is a Larson-esque talent, but once again, this is my debate about equipment, you know. So we got a guy wanting to call in from Iowa. They keep screaming in the chat. But any last thoughts or anything else you want to talk about real quick before we get you off here?
I mean, let's see. I mean, I hope Larson picks up more racing throughout the year. I mean, as far as let's see how he does and how many more sprint car races he runs. But he's doing good in the NASCAR world. I know that.
Well, he put it on the World of Outlaws at Jacksonville, and in my opinion, he sandbagged at TMS to make his high limit roster look better than they are. That's what I think. Because he destroyed. He destroyed. Now, there is something to be said about the fact that Kyle Larson does need a cushion. I mean, usually, I'm not saying this is all the time, obviously, but if a track has a cushion that you can ride, those California guys, and Larson's the best one, can really make shit happen, you know, that other guys just can't. But when the track's kind of slicked off and in the middle, kind of like we saw TMS look like, you know, Larson was just another guy in the pack, it seemed like. But I don't know. I feel like Larson sandbagged a little bit at high limit to make the high limit roster look good in front of the NASCAR fans. Because he just got through whooping the Outlaws' ass.
The year he took that suspension, bro, he was robbing the fucking Pennsylvania money like almost every race.
Yeah. He did a lot of robbing of money then. Yeah, when he was determined.
Well, I mean, he had no choice because that was his life because he had no place in NASCAR because of what he said, and then NASCAR took him back in.
I think they were always going to take him back in, but regardless.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll let you take your Iowa call, buddy. Nice talking with you, Chaz.
Thank you for calling once again.
Yes, sir.
And there you had it, a PA caller. Do you remember his name, Sean?
I don't think we got it.
Oh, I don't think he said his name either. I think it's a 515. We're going to try it here with the 515. I think this is you calling here, sir. Russ Hall. We'll confirm before we play it over the speakers. Hello.
Yeah, first time caller, 510-250.
Is this Russ Hall? I just need to confirm.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, we've had some issues with some callers calling in here recently. And
Is this Russ Hall?
So you're 5'10" and what?
250.
And you
First time caller, long time listener.
What do you run? A bang banger?
Yes.
Are you Paul Clayton?
Excuse me?
Are you Paul Clayton in disguise, sir?
It sounds like you're in a fish tank. Aren't you in the east side of Des Moines here? What?
Yeah, we had perfect audio with our last caller. I'm not sure if there's something wrong on your end. We can call you back though.
Well, maybe we should do that because you sound like you're 100 miles away.
Okay. We'll try to call him back here. Is it better?
A little bit better.
Okay.
Where do you want to begin, Chaz?
Do we want to begin at where Ryan Gustin destroyed your race car?
Oh, man, he done a good. He was doing very good for a first time out.
What did he say about that race?
He said
about the car.
He asked. Well, as soon as he came in for practice, he asked how much horsepower the motor made, and I'm like, I don't know, 700 at best. He's like, man, it feels like it makes 2,000 horsepower. I'm like,
really?
Yeah. I said, well, you're driving a lot lighter car here. So I grew up racing go-karts with him, and I've always wanted to see him try racing a sprint car. And his family definitely wasn't for it at all. They think sprint cars are dangerous. And finally got him to get into it. And I knew going into the race that going to Stewart, I had 99.9% chance of the car coming back in pieces. So
how did he get in the
like,
car? What? Well, you said you're 5'10", 250.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
me on the left in the picture there, the big fat guy with the hat on.
That's you?
So yeah, that's me. So he squeezed in my seat, no problem.
Okay.
So the car.
Hold on. We'll get there.
Oh, I just told him, I said, listen, the harder you drive this thing, the more it's going to feel like a go-kart. And he's had many laps in go-karts before. And so he went out there. I think there was like 30, maybe 40 some cars at this race. And he was like 16th quick after hot laps. So I knew we had a pretty good car. He came in and he's like, oh, the throttle throw is real short in this thing.
Yeah,
And
there's
I
not a
said,
lot
well,
of that's a deal. Like, you only got
Yeah.
about 4 inches of throttle to control this
And that's,
the thing.
well, I mean, my car has, probably 3.5, maybe not even that. And he's used to 5 inches in the late model at least. So I told him, I said, you got to hold the throttle down in these things or just a little off of them. And if your foot starts bouncing on it, you're going to be all over the racetrack.
Yeah, I was trying to find.
went
Oh,
out
there
there
it
and
is.
held it
There's a
down.
little clip. There it is. I was trying to find the clip of what actually happened here with Ryan at Stewart. It looked like he just entered the corner a little too late.
Yeah, he went looking for the turn signal and realized sprint cars don't have those and forgot to turn.
And the thing with Ryan is it looked like he was trying to, stick the brake, kind of like a modified, and lay on the right front, because they turn those cars on the right front.
So-
it looks like more than anything in the fendered world.
He listened right there while the car was straight, and that was the first mistake, But he waited late. If he would have stayed in the gas and entered that late, he would have been fine. But he lifted this for a split second. That was all it took to get the car to go straight into the fence.
Well, and he had started at the back of this heat, right? So
He started fourth, and he's running the leader down right there.
and he
He
passed
had probably
Tasker
4
Phillips.
laps left. Yeah, he was 3 laps remaining. We would have been in a dash if he would have finished it. But the car was fast, and he got the hang of it after hot laps. And once he realized he got to really drive him hard. But
Well,
he's a
did
great race
y'all
car
run the
driver.
B main? I mean, it didn't look like there was too much damage, or was there?
Well, so this is the deal. I haven't really all winter long. I just kind of maintenance the car. I haven't really touched it much, and so he called me like 3 days before the race and was like, "My son's getting ready to race these micro modifieds, and his first race is going to be at Stewart." So I heard the race in 360s, and you want to, put the car out there. I said, "Sure, what the hell? Let's do it." I said, "First, you got to call your mom and dad, get the permission, because I don't want them mad at me. They've been my friends, ever since I was a young kid." And I said, and you got to get Todd Cooney's permission, his car owner. And 5 minutes later.
Well, Cooney
Todd-
was all about it. Cooney's a sprint car guy in a way.
Well, not really a sprint car guy. Per
He's a
se.
Sammy Swindell guy. How about that?
Well, yeah. So, but Todd, a bunch of us grew up in the same area, and there was the sprint car guys, which, you know, I was in that gang, and Todd and Gustin were in the stock car gang. And so we've always had a rivalry. We always race each other in the winter time in go-karts at the Winter Dome. So Todd was always like, his rival was Danny Young in karts, and Danny Young raced sprint cars and was very successful. And, you know, Todd had his late model career and won hundreds of races. And so they lived down the street for each other, and they're rivals. And so I was like, you got to get Todd's permission. Last thing I wanted is him mad at me, you know, for letting you do this, and you asking for, you know, begging for forgiveness later after something like this would happen.
Well, you think something at Stewart isn't really dangerous per se, but you never know. I mean, Chase Johnson, that was that silver dollar, you know. I mean, what happened to him?
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I got the best equipment. I got all the fire suppression system, brand new ultra shield seat. Yeah, it's built for me, but Ryan's pretty similar in stature from, you know, shoulder width and whatnot. So he fit in the car perfect. And so safety issues wasn't really something I was concerned with. I was just concerned with him, you know, not making himself look too bad.
Well, we look at this little clip here, and it looked like, was he pulling the front wheels off the ground all the time like this, or?
Well, I had the car pretty soft in the back because I wanted it to be, I knew Stewart was going to be real slick, and I didn't want to go out there and spin the car out, you know, so I had the car a little tight. I just said, drive it hard like you always do, and he did, and he was going forward. Just lack of experience there, and he would have been, you know, he would have won that race, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he was tracking that guy down. I mean, you see it right there. He's pulling him in. Now, it looks like he is entering a little, like the seasoned sprint car guys, you know, they kind of know to, it looks like everybody's pitching it in a little sooner than him, where he's kind of just driving it in a little harder, I guess, but.
Oh, I told him, I said, listen, drive it hard, you know, and he knew what to do. He's been doing this his whole life. You know, he's probably won pretty close to it in everything his first night out, you know. So he's always drove like this ever since he was 5 years old, racing kid karts. So
right. But this was the first, the sprint car defeated the Reapers, what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what? He felt so bad when he done this. And I'm like, listen, Ryan, I knew this would happen. Yeah, I wish we went to like Davenport or somewhere that had no fence around it. But that right there was worth me, you know, seeing you in my car was worth me taking the $3,000 loss or whatever it might be to fix it. So
what was, you said he felt like it was 2,000 horsepower. Was there any other responses outside of that? I mean, was he like, I've heard a lot of modified late model guys, when they do get in a sprint car and get up to speed, they come in the pits with a fucking smile, you know. It's like, I've heard it, you know, reinvigorate careers down in the South. You know, I know some modified guys, they're done, and somebody lets them hot lap a sprint car, and all of a sudden they want to race again, you know. Was it anything like that at all, or big reaction of happiness and joy, or?
Oh, yeah, he was so, it just took him by surprise at how quick the throttle reaction was in a sprint car. Obviously, the fuel injection deal is completely different as far as response goes to a carburetor, even though his Outlaw late model engines are probably like 950 to 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, but it's more so that speed that you don't get. That, exactly. And that's probably why he thought it was 2,000 horsepower, because the acceleration, you know, you're moving in the sprint car. And, you know, I only hot lapped a sprint car one time, but it's opposite, you know, or in a regular car, you're kind of seeing how you got to drive the car. And I've heard non-wing guys say the same. It's like and even like the description of Dale Jr., for instance, like when he's talking about going into Talladega the first time, he's like, it looks like you're just going to fly out the track. But the air in NASCAR sticks you, And in sprint car racing, the wing sticks you, and it's like you got to kind of reverse what you think you can do on the track when you're driving them.
Yeah, I think it's easier for a late model driver to go from late models to a sprint car than it would be for a sprint car driver to go to a late model. I've had the experience, I don't know, several years ago, I got asked to drive a IMCA modified for the Iowa Speed Week or Portland Hawkeye Speed Week or whatever they called it. And after a hot laps, my dad came to me. He's like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Because this, you're kind of embarrassing me. You stalled the car 5 times, backing it out of the trailer, and you can't, even get out of first gear hardly." And by the end of the night, I was questioning it myself. But
we have a lot of 5 inches jokes in the chat right now. They're directing it towards you, but I'm feeling the most pain right now. Regardless, continue.
5 inches.
Yeah, they're making sexual gestures with the 5 inches quote of the throttle.
Well, that's a fucking good night for me.
Yeah, I know. Well, they're saying he wasn't used to 5 inches. He's used to much bigger.
A throttle throw.
Yeah.
See, mine's always been 3 inches, so I give it to her, 3 times. That's 9. So
3 times 3 is 9. Yeah. And now they came out with the Blue Chew, so you're wrecking them.
Oh, that stuff, I'd end up in the hospital, heart attack.
I don't know how their ads work. I don't know how. Anyways, is there anything else you want to talk about? Or you want to?
I want to talk. Let's talk about the Wings and Bobby Allen and all these guys.
Oh God, the topic of the week.
Well, I think the wing deal. Everybody's complaining about Jacob in the top and how it's wrinkled. Now, I don't really. As an experienced driver, I've learned over the years of trying all kinds of different wings that it's not really the top of the wing that's giving you downforce. It's how fast you can get the air to move underneath the wing. So being damaged or whatever that was could actually be hurting them by dirtying the air up coming off the top. And that's why Silva has the wing in one place. He's covering up the wing slider holes underneath. So, because that's just creating lift when the air is leaking into those.
Right.
So, I think the Dietrich deal is, much ado about nothing.
Well, they're talking about them building a wing with a 9-inch belly in depth.
Sure.
And they're putting 7-inch braces and guts to where when the wind hits it, it actually dishes the wing.
Well,
and that works in racing conditions, not qualifying. Racing.
Sure. And it just depends, in sprint cars you get so much dirty air when you're in traffic. It's the top of the wing isn't nearly as effective as having a belly that speeds the air up. Because when you speed the air up, the air goes underneath the wing and it kind of dumps like a wave and it sucks the dirty air from top down. That's what creates the downforce.
Okay.
So with the wicker bill being on there, it might be making it worse. Might be pushing the air up so it can't capture that.
The theory, if you can dish your flat belly wing, you're able to grab air in a dirty air condition way better than a flat one.
Well, the difference is that's not a true dish. It's got a bunch of bumps and hips, and it's not smooth like a true dish wing.
Right. But it's not flat like a flat wing should be. Now, see, I also said that Larson Silver wing is built sturdy as fuck on the top so that it cuts through the wind better because, we learned with Sam Haferteep at Bristol, drag is what slows the car down on the big tracks. I also think that's why you only see that silver wing with Larson on the bigger tracks. because it's cutting through the
Well-
wind. It's built very sturdy, and maybe what you're saying with the railing holes being covered, they're basically sealing the
Yeah.
wing off to where it's cutting through the
Yeah,
wind
you
for single
got-
car qualifying.
Anytime there's air, leaching up into like a hole, you're causing lift or drag, and moving that air underneath the wing is the most effective way to make downforce. Paul knows it. He's loving that everybody's talking about the top of this fucking wing. It's kind of nonsense to people that really know what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah, and then if you ceramic coat it in certain areas, that can make it even better.
Well, in 1999, I was in California on the road racing, and this engineer from F1 team came out. He's staying at the same hotel. He looks at her car and goes, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Worst aerodynamic, vehicle on the face of the earth." And basically told us we need to tape up every hole that we can and fill in the sides for side bite and this and that. And this was 99. Look at the cars from that era. The body is way different than they are now.
Right.
And we're moving in the right direction, but Paul's ahead of his time because he works on everything. He massages every single part on that car. He ain't pulling parts off the shelf and hanging them on this car. Just like Bobby Allen. That's why their cars are fast. He touches every part on that car and massages it, makes it right. And that's the difference between those
but there
guys.
seems to be a group out there that thinks that shark racing is up to shit, but I think all of them are up to shit.
Yeah, everybody's pushing the limit. And you're right, they don't tech very often,
No, not like they should. Not like the book.
Well, and that's what's bad about the sport. The 360s are more outlaw than the 410s are, in my opinion. They get to run the good wings, the motors. Hell, who knows? The oil pans don't have a inspection plug on anymore, so who knows what rods everybody's running? They ain't gonna pull the pans off. So
Yeah, I've heard that titanium rods is a big one.
yeah, why not have titanium rods? They're like $1,200 more than a set of good regular rods.
Yeah, especially if they're not ever going to go and find out.
Yeah, so I wish they just opened it up, like, here, let's run 360s. Let's get rid of all these rules that are in the book that nobody ever checks. Might as well get rid of them. Quit worrying about these stupid tires. If people are going to dope tires in sprint car racing, there has to be serious consequences.
Right.
So we got to focus on the rules.
And the whole field
Hoosier-
should be tagged. The whole field should have tire samples. Why is it just a random tire sample? Why isn't it everybody every night? Either they got to actually tech the cars all the time and actually get serious about the rules, or be cheap and lazy and just open it up for everybody.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I think Hoosier really wants these tire samples to cause panic throughout, the racing community. So we go and buy brand new tires every single night. I told these guys when the poor K-Take got tossed for cupping tires, they come back and Knoxville goes, well, it's a plasticizer. I'm like, plasticizers are used in all different types of like shampoos and soaps and all different types of stuff. We need to know exactly, what it's derived from, other than Hoosier saying that they don't use it in their tires. So,
Right.
The tire sampling bill is, I think, part of the problem. Just if somebody's prepping sprint car tires with real tire prep, get rid of them for a year, maybe two, because that is dangerous for everybody on the track. Sprinkler tires are too thin. They're too soft already. So what the hell?
Right.
You know, if you're going to have a rule, enforce it. Let everybody know exactly what the chemicals are, and say these people are, you know, done for 2 years.
Right. Makes
But
sense.
if not, you know, those are the rules that should be enforced. The other rules, if you ain't gonna check them, get them out of the book. Let's go.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't think, you know, Bobby Allen or any of those guys are cheating. They just work harder. They've been doing it longer. They have all the experience in the world. And it's, you know, people have to either, they can throw all the money they want at it. They're never going to get the experience and the knowledge, you know, that those people have. And I think racing's good with them and makes everybody work harder.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but Tyler Walker's back. That's good.
We'll
We
see.
need more of him in the.
We'll see.
We need more of him in racing.
Why?
Because he's a real racer. You know, even though he needs racing in his life to stay straight. He's not the only racer that's gone off the rails after quitting and not getting that adrenaline fix. You know, like those racers get 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. Quit cold turkey is hard to, get that thrill.
Well,
And,
there's a lot.
Tyler,
That's why I said, why do we need more Tyler Walkers? There's a lot of people who think he got every
because
opportunity
he was
he
the one
deserved
that
and
actually went out
trashed
there
on
and
it.
put a show on for everybody, night in, night out. Didn't matter where he was. He's a showman, race car driver that is very talented, and he put it on the line night in, night out. And nowadays, it's, everybody's trying to make it to another level. Tyler is a real sprint car racer, and it's what it's what made him live, a normal life.
Well, he did go. He
Somewhat,
did try to go to
but-
NASCAR.
I miss him. I grew up with him, so
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good. We'll see if he keeps on the straight and narrow. That's the only hope.
that lose you.
Nope. Hello? The video keeps repeating because that's all the video there is. It's just a 10-second clip.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Because that's all the video there is. It's just a 10-second clip. Hello.
Okay. I don't know what happened there. But that was Russ Hall. I mean, he was still on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, we could call him back and try to get his last words. We're probably going to cut her off here. It's already been an hour and a half. It's just past midnight.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up? We were about to shut it down, but you hung up on us.
Oh, I thought you hung up on me. Sorry.
No, you were talking.
No, I just miss Tyler Walker. Like I said, I come from that generation of sprint cars,
Okay.
and spent a lot of time on the road with those guys.
Okay.
So I'm glad to see him back around the sport because that's what he needs in his life.
Yeah, that's what I suggested originally. Get him involved in racing. Maybe that's what he needs to get off of whatever he was doing, and let that be kind of like the rehab to a normal life type of program through the motorsports world.
Well, he's definitely not a normal person, that's for sure, but he's a way better person when he has racing in his life, and he's a good person. Really, if you really know him, he's a great person. He was a performer. And not too many drivers will like he used to.
Right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get you out of here? Are you going to be at Knoxville tomorrow?
No. I'm gonna bust the car out probably another 5-6 times this summer, and we'll see what happens. I don't have a motor for Knoxville, so we'll probably do some short track racing and try to get Ryan back in the car later on this summer, maybe.
Is that the plan, to get Gustin back in it?
Well, I want to give him another, shot at it, and I think he wants to also. So we're excited to try to do it, make it happen. We're going to wait until after the late model season, so Todd don't get so worked up. But
right,
it'll be.
I mean, I would say how much to put me in it for a night, but I don't think there's a price on that.
Well, let's see what happens here. I'm not opposed to anything. Everybody needs to try a sprint car. It's the best race car on the planet. There's no doubt about it. You're gonna find a better ride.
I just want to get out there and be the one lap car Larson can't get by.
Well, I don't know if that my car's the car to do that in, but definitely get out and get a feel for it for sure.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for calling, and maybe you need to call in more when there's racing topics.
Well, hey, don't be a stranger. You've been in my house before.
I have. Are you still up there in Altoona?
Yep, up here in the tuna.
Oh, my.
Keeping it real.
There's no hot single women in Altoona. They're all like 50 years old.
Well, what's wrong with that, Chaz? I mean,
well, it depends on their, bra size, but.
Well, I'm sure they're in the double D's at least.
Right.
Corn-fed.
Yeah, double D's and 400 pounds. No thanks. I'm just playing.
Oh, come on, man. We'll have to talk about this later, but one of these days we're going to have to talk about the Winter Dome racing and the history of that. I'm sure Sean can let you know a little bit about that.
He's got people banned from that building, I've heard.
There needs to be a documentary made on it, because there's definitely a lot of racing champions came out of there, not just sprint cars and stock cars. There's actually boat racing champions even. So, yeah, pretty crazy times.
Yep.
Okay.
25 below zero and racing go-karts.
Yeah, I know. I almost attended it this year. I forgot why I didn't go. Forgot what it was.
Well, that's not the same as it was.
Yeah, I've heard. That's what he was saying. That kind of ruined it for me. He's like, it ain't what it is. You could be disappointed.
It's definitely not. So, nice talking to you.
Needs to what?
Nice talking to you, Chaz.
Tell him it needs to go back.
I got baseball tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fun. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. Well, what is Vets?
Vets Auditorium.
What is that?
That's when the Coke syrup races we had once a year, while we were doing the Winter Dome on the dirt. They had a Coke syrup race once a year, and it was at Veterans Auditorium, right across the street from the well.
Okay.
And there's a lot of history in the Winter Dome days.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got to hear the whole Ryan Gustin story.
Yeah.
I was curious about that one. Apparently, Ryan Gustin's not done with the sprint car. And apparently, we may not be either. That'd be hilarious. #1 video in the country if that happens. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's it. The return to the Continental. There it is. Is that it, Sean?
Yeah. If you want to call it.
I mean, it is 12:09 and people are leaving. Are you pushing trucks or pushing? I said pushing. Are you pushing cars tomorrow?
Yeah. Yep.
When do they make you get there?
5.
Wow. When's hot lap 6 or something or?
Usually 6:15, 6:30, I think, or 6:45.
Okay. We might be going to Knoxville as well. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, once again, your rainbow nut butter. We have it right there, the rainbow nut butter, Reese Moran. And there is I got the checkered flag mix, Reese Moran, Reese's Pieces in here and all kinds of stuff. Look at that. We're going to have to eat some before we go to sleep. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to the show, though. Took some calls there and had some interesting conversations. As always, be sure to like the video. As always, be sure to subscribe. And we will catch you next time here in the Continental, maybe, or maybe at the pizza place. We may go live at the pizza place. We may have to Corgliano this shit up tomorrow.
Yeah, you never know.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Shit's happening. We're back in Knoxville. Oh. We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride